so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Look at you trying to look all grown and pretty.
I was trying. I mean, the last time we chatted, we were talking about the prom, which is a very different feel. So she had to grow up a little.
It's all good, girl. I was like, oh, look at you giving me Halle Berry. I'm there for all of it. She's like, okay, girl, let me stop before I eat up my 4 minutes of time.
Come on, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so you were playing Anna Tate in Schmigadoon, who is just
Yes,
so
I did.
warm and beautiful and immensely smart and talented. How much fun did you have inhabiting her?
Honestly, it was a dream for several reasons. Like Emma is like the every woman, right? Or at least that was my take on her. She is gosh, she's an educator. My mother is an educator, so I was like, "Ooh, this feels really nice. It feels at home. I know who she is." She just is that woman that quietly inspires others, and they don't realize she's doing it. She could burst out in a song, and it's the most beautiful thing you've ever heard, potentially. Um, or she could quietly let you know about yourself in a way that you can hear. And that's the key with her. She's always teaching. I think natural born educators are like that. Um, but she also is, she's an ingenue. And for me, Ariana, like I'm not normally asked to play a character like that. And I'm certainly not normally asked to sing songs that sound like this. I love this genre. Um, you know, Old Hollywood musicals are some of my favorite musicals, but they don't typically ask us to sing those songs. So it was a real treat to do it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk about that scene on that desk. Now, coming from musical theater as we do, there's
Yeah.
always some mishaps. There's always a story that goes down in perpetuity that people shift and change and it becomes bigger and grander along the way. What kind of mishap took place during that number? Because I know it had to be something.
Honestly, there wasn't, and I couldn't believe it. There was nothing for the gag reel or the blooper reel. In fact, there's the shot in the number where it's me and the kids, and we're all dancing at the same time. We only did that once. That's the shot
Wow.
that is in the number. It was one of those weird, crazy experiences where there were no real mishaps. I've
Wow.
never, to be perfectly honest, I'm typically the girl who's fallen in the floor. You know what I mean? Um, but I'm grateful. It all worked out. Nobody broke any bones. It was fine.
That's unusual. It really is very unusual and very fierce. So let me just say
Mhm.
that. You spoke really briefly about how we don't usually see us in stories like this singing that kind of music, but
Mhm.
in Schmigadoon, we have interracial couples, we have Blacks, we have
Mhm.
Asians, we have all kinds of people present in that world. How important do you think it is to have that be represented in the musical theater world in real life?
Oh, it's paramount. It's absolutely paramount that I think the example Schmigadoon sets forth is something that is carried on. And I do think, specifically in the Broadway world, we are seeing those changes begin to be made, right? And I wouldn't say that it's easier to make those adjustments on film or in television, but I think you're seeing more examples of that. Not for nothing. Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist is also a good example of seeing so many beautiful, diverse faces on on television. Girls Five Ever, as well, is another great example. But I will say what Schmigadoon does so beautifully is that these stories are in the forefront. And that's the difference. It's like Emma Tate is embodied by someone who looks like me and gets to stand on zero and tell her story. Anne Harada plays Mrs. Menlove. She gets to stand on zero and tell her story. I think that's really important to see more of these faces, to normalize the fact that we're all human and all these stories matter, right? It's not just the one type of story; it's all the stories, and that's really exciting to be a part of something that is doing it so seamlessly and so effortlessly. Because it's not a thing in Schmigadoon. It's not a thing.
No, absolutely. And I couldn't have wrapped this up better. You tied it up into a nice little bow for me. I'm looking forward to seeing and talking to you for West Side Story. Congratulations on everything thus far. You're so, so, so gifted and talented and beautiful. I wish nothing but the best for you.
Thank you so much, Carla. And I look forward to talking to you too. We'll see you soon.
Bye, girl.
Bye.